What is up, YouTube? This is Setsunatan here, and today I've got my Shaddoll Plant Turbo deck profile for you. I'm going to break this down into two parts. I'm going to give you the deck profile, then I'm going to give you some of the combos and some of the reasons why I chose this deck. Okay, so first we have Blackluster Soldier, we have 2 Chaos Sorcerers, we have 1 Dandelion, we have 2 Effect Veiler, we have Glow Up Bulb, we have 2 Lone Fire Blossoms. We have Lila the Lightsworn Sorceress, we have Mathematician, we have Shaddoll Beast ×3, Shaddoll Dragon ×2, Shaddoll Falco ×2, Shaddoll Hedgehog ×3. We have Spore, we have Allure of Darkness, Foolish Burial, Mystical Space Typhoon ×2, 1-for-1, Shaddoll Fusion ×3, Soul Charge, Super Polymerization, Bottomless Trap Hole, Breakthrough Skill, Compulsory Evacuation Device, Sinister Shadow Games ×3, Solemn Warning, and rounding up the main deck lineup with a Vanity's Emptiness at 41 cards. Onto the extra deck. In the extra deck we have 2 El Shaddoll Construct, 2 El Shaddoll Winda, 1 El Shaddoll Grista, 1 El Shaddoll Seiken Naga, Armades, Arcanite Magician, Beals, Black Rose Dragon, Formula Synchron, Leo, Moonlight Rose Dragon, Star Eater, and Daigusto Emerald. In the extra deck, in the side deck, we have 2 DD Crow, 2 Max C, a Mystical Space Typhoon, Chain Disappearance ×2, Different Dimension Ground ×2, Light Imprisoning Mirror ×2, Stygian Dirge ×2, and Crimson Blader ×2. Alright, now I'll explain some of my choices in the main deck first, then I'll go on to the extra deck, and then I'll explain some of the choices for my sides. So first up, this deck is loosely based on the 2011 Tengu Plant deck that took the entire year of 2011 to 2012 by storm. They limited it in a variety of ways, first by limiting Lone Fire Blossom, and then ultimately they decided that they had to ban Glow Up Bulb in order to finally beat the deck down. The deck is a variation of it again, because the way that would work for that deck would be Card Trooper for your mills, but since I have Foolish Burial, I have Mathematician, and I have Sinister Shadow Games in 1-for-1 to get key cards to the grave when I need them, I feel that it's not needed to use Card Trooper at this point in time anymore, because we have so many options to send monsters to the grave. Some of the cards in here, you might be questioning them, like, why do I have a lone copy of Lila? Lila is there as a light target, but she's also there because you summon her, you start to break back row with her, your opponent has to decide whether they want to respond to her summon or not. If they let the summon go and they have something set like Solemn Warning, Bottomless Trap Hole, then it gives you an idea of what they have. If they're debating over it, it gives you a very real idea. It's like, okay, so they have something that can potentially stop a summon that I might perform. So then you can proceed to break back row and not waste your MSTs or your Shaddoll Dragons. She's just there to help you clear back row out without the use of Heavy Storm, since Heavy Storm is banned in the TCG right now. My choice for Shaddoll Beast at 3 is because it is necessary to have as much draw power in this kind of deck as possible, on top of your already broken plays, you can play Shaddoll Beast, Shaddoll Falco to special summon Beast in defense mode, then Sinister Shadow Games to reflip Beast, draw 2 cards, discard 1 card. I've done it several times in games. It's a basic Shaddoll combo. There's not really much explanation needed in that. 1-for-1 is a card that's used to either get out one of our 2 plant tuners, either Glow Up Bulb or Spore, preferably Spore due to the fact that you can recur him for an Armades off of a Dandelion token. There's a combo that I will discuss further. My choice for having the lone copy of Soul Charge and Super Poly in the deck is because they're getting limited, and in a deck that does fusions and already has a wide option of fusions with only 2 attributes missing, the 2 attributes being wind and water, which are the 2 that are the least important at this point in time. Why not main deck the Super Poly as a temporary out to Fire Kings, Tellarknights, to mirror matches? It's an excellent main deck option. I don't care what anybody says about Super Poly, it's still a viable card in this kind of deck. The reason why I have the lone copy of Mathematician is to, again, send plants to the grave, because you cannot always rely on 1-for-1 and Foolish Burial as your only 2 targets to get your plant monsters out there. Mathematician also adds that factor of, if you kill him, I get to draw a card, and as I said before, drawing is what you need to do in every deck. It's more advantage means more chances that you'll win, more likelihood that you'll win. Alright, now on to the extra deck. My extra deck choices and reasons why are, I felt that it was only necessary to have 1 Gristle and 1 Seiken Naga, and my synchro choices are high impact monsters that can stun your opponent during the battle phase, making it so that you'll definitely get at least a attack through every turn. Therefore I chose Armades, Beals, Leo, and Star Eater as my go-to synchro monsters, because you cannot deny that a monster that can attack and is unaffected by card effects is a powerful thing, especially if it's a 3200 monster, or a monster that cannot be targeted by card effects except during your main phase 2. It means that Pulse can't activate when it's summoned. The only thing that they can do during the battle phase is a Mirror Force, which nobody's playing Mirror Force right now. They can't negate the attack by banishing it. They can't prevent the attack with the cylinders. They can't do a variety of things that they would normally want to do in order to get the monster off the board. They can't even Fiendish Chain it until after main phase 2, which is at that point the effect's already done its work, it's already attacked, and they've already taken the damage from it. And Armades is good in a variety of situations, especially attacking unknown monsters that are just set face down, preventing their effects from activating, that kind of thing. And Beals is there because he's not able to be destroyed by battle or by card effects, which means that he's one of the monsters that'll last a good turn or 2 before he falls to something. And Black Rose Dragon, Moon Rose Dragon, and Arcanite Magician are just simply there for field control purposes. Black Rose Dragon to wipe the board, Arcanite Magician to clear out back row, and Moon Rose Dragon in the mirror match especially to prevent your opponent from overcoming you with fusions. Or in the Cool Fort matchup, same thing, but with higher level monsters. It just prevents them from happening. Since when they pendulum summon, their monsters come out at that level, which triggers Moonrose's effect, then their effect lowers their level, which then makes it so that Moonrose can bounce them back to the hand. My side deck choices are DD Crow and Maxi. It's those two are a necessary hand trap. I feel that DD Crow has more use than the ally monster that banishes 2 because of his usefulness to banish more attributes. Sure, it's only one card that you're banishing, but if it's a Karm that you're banishing from Burning Abyss, then you're going to want to banish the Karm before they can get the effect. Or if it's Tellarknight Deneb, then you're going to want to banish Deneb as soon as possible from their grave so that they can't revive it with Altair, so that Altair is just sitting there uselessly. Maxi is for those games where your opponent likes to special summon a lot and then go into make derpy plays. It honestly prevents them from making those stupid derp plays that we all know that they do. MST is to complete the MST playset. Chain Disappearance is for the Burning Abyss matchup, and it's also for the shaddoll mirror match, the Batteryman matchup. It hits a variety of targets. Same with Different Dimension Ground. It's also for the Tellarknight matchup when you eventually attack over Deneb or Delith Theros so that they don't get their effects when they go to the grave, or so that they can't revive it because they have a harder time bringing back banished monsters than they do a monster in the grave. Same with Light Imprisoning Mirrors for the light matchup, for Batterymen, for Tellarknights, for any kind of light rogue deck like Lightsworns, Lightsworn Rulers, that kind of thing. Stygian Dirge is for rank 4 and rank 3 spam decks to prevent them from getting off their Exceed plays. And Crimson Blader is simply there for the Shaddoll mirror match, and it's also there for the Quillport match because they have level 5 or higher monsters that they would like to special summon and or normal summon, and if you attack over one of their monsters with this 2800 body, which I imagine isn't hard to do first turn for this kind of deck, since you can make a level 8 synchro at the drop of a hat, it's quite easy, and it allows you to attack over, stun your opponent, and keep on poking for damage until you can eventually have game. Alright, now some of the combos for this deck is 1-for-1ing into Spore by pitching Dandelion, getting the tokens, or going for a Shaddoll fusion, sending Dandelion and the Shaddoll monster of your choice to the graveyard, and then if you have Lone Fire Blossom in your hand, then you summon Spore from the deck by tripping Lone Fire Blossom to then get you a Formula Synchron, which then gets you a draw, bring back Spore, which then achieves its level 4 status, syncing with the other token to then get you an Armades. So you would sit on the board with a Seiken Naga, an Armades, and a Formula Synchron, which then you can then synchro on your opponent's turn if they manage to overcome your field during the main one. You can synchro into Black Rose Dragon, blow up the field, get back your Shaddoll fusion, and lose no advantage from just 2 cards. And if you're using Shaddoll Beast in this combo for the Seiken Naga summon, then you would essentially +2 off of the Formula Synchron and the Beast effect, which means that you, in the end, +2 again for 1, blowing up the entire board so that your opponent has nothing, and 2 is since you get Shaddoll fusion back to your hand when Seiken Naga goes to the grave. This is Sets in a Tan signing out. Please like, comment, and subscribe.